So necessary. Y'all give it up for Brandon Clay. Get loud for Brandon Clay. I know there's a little bit of afternoon energy and lethargy on everybody. If you don't mind standing up. So I'm Brandon Clay, storyteller, strategist, coach, CEO of EnrollHere. And yes, I'm excited to be here. So a couple of things before we get started. There's an option for you guys today. Which Brandon do you want? Option A, CEO gravitas, buttoned up, eloquent, charming, good looking as always, either option you pick. Or I can be option B. A little more outgoing, a little more gregarious, a little more empowering, enlightening, and entertaining. Going on one of my famous runs, my tangents, my parables, similes, metaphors. Oh, well, so, okay, we'll take a vote. If you choose option A, raise your hand. Oh, okay, crickets. If you want to go for option B, raise your hand. All right. So now, because I've got you for the next 45 minutes, in order to ensure that I'm CEO of EnrollHere in the next 44 minutes, I need you to tell Tyler Reese that you told me to let it loose. Go ahead and scream it out. Let it loose and let it fly. All right, so I now have, it's Tyler. It's on them now, whatever happens next. Awesome. So now the question I want to ask to get us started, and yes, thank you for remaining standing, is why are you here? Why are you here? I've been running into people that I've not seen in years, some that I just ran into that I hadn't seen in almost a decade, and everybody has a story. Everybody is looking for something. Everybody's looking for the next opportunity. Some of you have been transitioned out of the roles you were in, and now you're having to reinvent yourself. Some of you, even though I think by way of Justin's polling earlier today, are not new to the business, but maybe all of this is new. But everybody here is thinking about something that they wanted from this event. And I don't mind if you shout out a few things. Why are you here? To grow. Would everybody say growth? Then what I know you want really is to get out of the box. To get out of the box. To break free of some of the things that have been holding you back, some of the stasis and some of the lack of inertia, lack of momentum, lack of good ideas, lack of the ability to pursue those ideas. So I'm gonna trigger some things today. That would be my goal, is to trigger in you a response that helps you do what? Get out of the box. So these are my parents, Alfred and Sarah Clay, and I'm there with my older sister, Donna. And yes, I was cute and adorable, and everybody would want to cuddly wuddly and take me home. But my dad was the one that taught me to be option A. CEO gravitas, he's the reason I know the difference between entomology and etymology. But I am going to bug you with my words today. Some of you got that. That's quite all right. But my mom, on the other hand, even don't let the Dorothy Dandridge good looks fool you. That was just the way they staged people back in the 40s. She was tough. And when I found out I was going to actually get to do this at Justin's event, and yes, it's been several years, I could hear her voice calling me from heaven and giving me a charge of what to do on this stage here today. And she simply said, baby, I need you to help them get out of the box. So my mama said, knock you out. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to knock you out. I'm going to knock you out of the box that you're in. Whether it's myopathy, where you can only see the thing you've been doing the same way for years and years and years, and it's the old adage, if you want to keep on getting what you're getting, keep on what? Doing what you're doing. Turn to your neighbor and say, shake things up, shake things up. It's time to change things. And there's so much opportunity and change. I was talking to Justin in an interview. It's something I say all the time. We get to systematize chaos. I'm going to jump a little bit ahead, then I'm going to jump right back. I've been doing this 28 years, 29 AEPs. And the first time I did it, my wife, which we'll talk about in a moment as well, I said, well, baby, I think I'm going to get to do this a year or two, and then this Medicare thing's going to fizzle and go away. 28 years later, I'm still here. But I'm on reinvention just like many of you. I've had to get myself out of the box. So here is what we're going to do. So as we get ready to get out of the box, I want everybody to commit to doing something for me. I want you to take a picture of your shoes. You don't have to do it now, but somewhere during the course of this event, take a picture of your feet. And then I want you to post it, because if you've moved your position, which I fully expect that each one of you will not be in the same place at the same way when you leave, that literally, as we used to say in the church, you won't leave the way you came. If that happens for you, especially in this session, I want you to post that on LinkedIn and say, Brandon Clay, MedicareCon 2025 knocked me out the box because Sarah Clay told me to knock you out. And I'm going to knock you out. There may be 1,000 things I do wrong in the next couple of days, but my focus would be to knock you out of the box. So now, this is an expression I've used, and we'll get ready to let you sit down in just a moment. I did this on a website. For the last 2 decades, I've been saying everyone is born great. But ideas, inspiration, and instruction help people to become exceptional. Yeah. So what I would want you to do is, on the count of 3, I want everybody to shout, I am exceptional. On the count of 3. See, you got to learn how to follow directions, or y'all ain't going to ever be able to get rich. You can't get rich if you ain't going to follow directions. When I count to 3, I want everybody to shout it. 1, 2, 3. All right, some of you sound incredible. You actually believe it. Some of you sound incredulous and probably need to do it a second time. Let's do one more time. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's much better. Now, that's a little narcissistic, a little bit gauche. It's a little bit arrogant. So if you don't mind, turn to 3 or 4 people and say, you are exceptional. You are exceptional. That way somebody else is hearing a voice telling to them that you are exceptional. You are exceptional. You are exceptional. Go ahead and have a seat. Get you rested. We may have you jump back up in a little bit. But I am exceptional. And I know most of you already knew that, but I'm just going to remind you and give you some very specific reasons as to why. But I think I'm qualified to tell you that you are also exceptional. Number one, and actually I did this for the very first time on the MedicareCon stage back in Alabama, and I'd never actually publicly said it before, that I had actually entered the 7-figure club. But it took from 1992 to 2012 to do it. Second thing is, in most recent times, and I know I look good in this all black, all svelte, sinewy, and muscled up, but I actually have lost 30 pounds. 15% body fat, the abs are starting to show. I wanted to be Shamar Moore so bad, and I think now I'm almost there. But now on December 12th, I just turned 60. So it's when you take, oh my gosh, 7-figure, oh my gosh, abs, oh my gosh, and he's 60. All of a sudden, that makes me an anomaly, a freak of nature. It makes me exceptional. Additionally, just last Friday, the 11th of April, I celebrated my 30th year anniversary. Married 38 years. 6 kids, 3 by marriage, and 8 grandchildren. Now, my golf handicap we're still working on. It doesn't make me exceptional. But if Ryan Travers is in the house, he will tell you that 17 takes money when you play to it. So I want to remind you that if these are the things that I feel make me special, exceptional, that I've done them, it's a reminder for you to think about in your life right now, what have you done? What have you accomplished? What do you feel good about in your life right now where you could say, you know what, in that area, I'm really good. I'm exceptional. And yes, there are still some areas of development, things that you might still need to do and that you want to be and have. You're not finished yet. Neither am I. But if you remind yourself just in this moment that even being here makes you exceptional, because there are tens of thousands of people in this industry who are not here, that are not looking for that next level of development, that's not looking for that next idea, that's not looking for the next thing that could catapult them to the next level of success in their lives. So I'm going to stop here for a moment. So this is my wife, Natalie. Those are our pictures in 1982, the year we graduated. And yes, I have hair. Oh, those were the days. But that was the next picture. But what I wanted to share is that in a room this size, invariably, there is somebody that right now is in the midst of their 1992 to 2012, possibly struggling, or possibly feeling like they're stuck, or possibly having to reinvent themselves and start all over just when they thought, oh my gosh, I figured it out. I'm in a career, it's working really well. And all of a sudden they say, nope, we've got to go in another direction. You're going home. But anybody that's in that period, what I will tell you is beyond the 38 years, there were some really, really rough and tough ones in there. And why do I share that? Because again, invariably in a room of this size, there are people right now trying to figure out how to reach a goal, struggling, trying to figure out what the next level is. Or maybe you're even so successful that distance has come in. So what I want to give really quick is not so much marriage advice, but it's counsel. You've got to make whoever is in your life supporting and undergirding you your MVP. You've got to share the money, how you make it, what's proration, oh my gosh, a chargeback, all those things. What about the vision? What are we doing? How many lives do we want to have? Do we want to get more agents? Do we want to go into the telesales world? Do I want to be a hybrid agent? Share that vision. But then the one where most people miss it is they don't want to share the pressure. MVP, money, vision, pressure. Where you let someone know that I'm struggling, I had a rough day, there were all these no-shows, the phone's not ringing, I'm chasing leads, the leads aren't any good. Whatever that looks like, bring them in. But what I would want to do to encourage you in this moment, since I've got the mic, is to hang in and hang on. Because some of you right now are thinking, if this doesn't get better, that part of my life is over. So what I want to talk to you now is about the 3 things that I think it takes to break out of stasis and get into that part of your life where you are exceptional and you are breaking out of the box. And it's mindset, skill set, tool set. Mindset, skill set, tool set. So your mind, which we'll start there, is a weapon. But your mind can be used in a destructive way if you start thinking about things destructively. Yes, if you start thinking about things constructively, all of a sudden, answers emerge. Someone I just ran into in the hallway earlier said something about how they wanted to stimulate their business, looking for answers. And I literally said, your solution is in your situation. In this conference hall is an answer. The challenge is most of us want the answer to be obvious, when most answers come cloaked and shrouded in mystery. Because to get a real answer that's enduring, there's got to be a little work to evolve out of that answer, to solve that question. But first thing you've got to do is get clear. Get clear about what you want and why you want it. And yes, everybody here talks about goals and all those things about, smart, specific, measurable, achievable, real, time-bound, realistic, all those things. But at any moment, you've got to be able to tell yourself and to the world, this is what I want. And to be really clear on it. And then, because that's the logical piece, you've got to now emotionalize that by why you want it. And then the twin tower of logic and emotion can come together to give you all of the ammunition you need for the how when it comes and emerges. So get clear. And it's conferences like this where you should actually go out by the pool and redefine what you really, really want. Because you're now surrounded by people who have done amazing things in this business and in this industry. So if you're surrounded by people who've done it, that means it can be done and is being done. The real question is, why not you? So the next thing is to project and reflect. And I actually call this my Paula Abdul exercise. Paula Abdul from the 80s, I know there's a lot of young people in the room. Paula Abdul, anybody remember Paula Abdul? Raise your hand if you do, there's a few. But she sang a song called Opposites Attract. And it was 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. We go together because opposites attract. Well, you know, it ain't fiction, fact. We go together because opposites attract. So what I think about, and I do it every week, every day actually, is I do a project and reflect. So when I project, I use my visual mind to take myself 2 steps forward, further than I am right here. I'm not trying to go 10 steps, I'm trying to go 2. But if I take 2 steps forward, there's a likelihood that when I get back to the real world of the senses, I'm going to be in the same place. So from that 1992 to 2012, it was a series of 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. But like Cool Hand Luke, I wouldn't stay down. I just kept going. 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. And it happened again and again. 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. But I kept on acting. And then one day, I took 2 steps forward and 1 step back. Everybody shout progress. If you take 2 steps forward and only 1 step back, that's progress. And something that was once inert turns into inertia, then turns into momentum, then turns into acceleration. And the next thing you know, you're moving at the speed of light, 186,000 miles a second, into whatever it is that your destiny is. But if you're not willing to project and see yourself as something that you may not be today, it will be difficult. So if I ask you, what do you want 2 years from now? Project. And you can't tell me what it is and why you want it, you are not likely to put yourself in the position to take the action necessary to do anything besides be inert. And all inert means is no motion. And Sir Isaac Newton said, an object at rest stays at rest. An object in motion stays in motion. So now the last one is bleep it. Now, my dad was a scholar, a man of erudition, book reading. We literally would do vocabulary words. He never went outside. We didn't play ball. He didn't play basketball, didn't throw the ball outside. But when he came home from working late at night at the U.S. Postal Service, we would sit down with the dictionary and we would randomly pick words. So now you know why I am this way. And he would say that cursing and cussing was unrefined. Now, of course, I used to hear him light it up late at night. And I'm not offended by it. And yes, just to be absolutely clear, I do occasionally, usually amongst a small group of people that know me well or on the golf course. Even speaking to Ryan Travers, he's heard me, and I'm famously known. I think Daniel and Josh are here as well, some golfing buddies of mine. I am famous for saying, bleep it. Now that, for some of you, is irreverent. But for some of you, it's just so candy apple and so lightweight. But everybody give it a shout. Everybody shout bleep it. Okay. So what I want to do today is I use that word when something is disagreeable in my life. And actually, I will go here. So when we're talking about bleep it, it's the things that keep us from taking action. It's the fear, it's the doubt, it's the imposter syndrome. It's all those things that happen in our mind that keep us from taking the steps we need to take. So what I want to do today, well, actually, I'll tell you, I wasn't going to do this. I have one thing that keeps me from my goals, fitness-wise or weight-wise, which I still want, there's still a ways to go. And I will show you. It's gummy bears. Gummy bears. So I was actually using this bag on Saturday as an example. And I said, well, you know what? I'll just take a picture of one. And I ripped the bag open and that wafting came out. That really unmistakable fruity flavor came flying out at my nostrils. And before I knew it, I had eaten my demonstration. Now, some of you are laughing, but Superman's got kryptonite, Brandon Clay's got gummy bears, and each one of you has something. So if you don't mind, stand to your feet just for an exercise for me. Stand to your feet. That's right, go ahead. We're actually going to conduct a bleepectomy. A bleepectomy. So within the regions of the mind, there's the cerebrum, the cerebellum, and the pala abdullah oblongata. But we're going to go past all those regions. We're going to go right into the prefrontal cortex where the amygdala, the brain, the fear center is. And what we're going to do, when we find fear, is we're going to pluck it. Again, I didn't cuss. I said pluck it. Be careful. But each time we pull something out of our brain and put it into our hand, and I'll even give you my demonstration here, I'm going to pull gummy bears out. We're going to pluck fear and put it in our hand and simply say bleep it. Everybody with me? We're going to pluck out, put in our hand, and shout bleep it. So I'll call out some things, and if it matters, you can pull it out. What about fear? Bleep it. What about procrastination? Bleep it. What about doubt and insecurity? Bleep it. What about haters? Bleep it. So now we've got, if you've done that, you've got a handful of bleep. But your mind is clear. And now we're going to do what LeBron James does. On the count of 3, we're going to throw it in the air, into the ether, into the nothing. And then we're going to shout bleep it one last time. 1, 2, 3, bleep it. Turn to 5 people and say, doesn't it feel good that the bleep is gone? Yeah, see, I can see clearly now the bleep is gone. I've removed all the bleeping obstacles in my way. Gone are the bleeping dark clouds that had me down. It's going to be a bright, sunshiny day. Some of you, for the first time, even though that's metaphorical, even though that's a parable of sorts, if you do that every day and remove the bleep that blocks you, when I learned that, when I took my 2 steps forward and I did it with the bleep gone, sometimes I was amazed that I not only went 2 steps, I went 3 steps, I went 4 steps. There's something magical about the action and about doing it in corresponding faith. So what I would want everyone now to do every day is a bleepectomy. You can be seated. So now we're going to talk about skill set. And this is where we get into the industry a little bit. Here recently, and again, I don't typically do controversy, but I will do commentary. Someone mentioned that there are too many agents in the market making too much money and doing too much churning. Does anybody, I'm paraphrasing, but anybody hear those statements? My commentary will be, there's not enough of the right type of agent. Oh yeah, thank you so much. And if you're the right type of agent in this room today, shout, I'm the right one, baby. We need people to know in our industry that there are great agents. And even if you're new, if you have great intent and begin to learn the craft, you don't have to know everything, but you've got to have the right intent when you talk to people. So we're going to be the right kind of agent. And overgeneralization is a certain form of demonization. We end up giving people broad brush strokes around something that we've never really taken a deeper look at. But what we also have to do when we're trying to change perception is use the one weapon that we have. And I used to tell my kids all the time when they were growing up, awareness without activism is acceptance. Awareness without activism is acceptance. I've been made aware of something and I don't like the way it sounds, so I got to do some action that counteracts that thought. Otherwise, if I do nothing, I've accepted. I've been doing Medicare since 1996, and I know there's some people here that date with me because I've been talking to you. The Part B premium was $41.50. Oh, in the name of Methuselah, that was a long time ago. There was no OTC, yeah, you know me, no PDP for that matter. No flex card, none of that existed. You actually had to be an agent that worked for the company in order to be able to enroll people. And I started with United Healthcare in 1996. Medicare modernization in 2003, the MMA Act allowed brokers and agents to start selling it. And then in 2007, PDP, et cetera, all those things happened. And then they came up with the standardized commission, because back in the original day, we were paying $1,000 to $1,200 an app, no renewal mostly, and it was chaos. But it was the chaos we lived with. Then they went to 200, 400 on the way that commissions were paid around 2008 post MIPA. And now that amount has grown to 620, 630. So when people say to me, Brandon, what do you think? What do you think? I said, all you got to do is be ready to get out of the box and change. And I said it with Justin the other day, we get paid to systematize chaos. I love chaos. Because Sarah Clay used to say, nobody's going to pay you to clean a clean kitchen. The messier it is, the more money there is. But the money comes from service. And everybody knows me for saying, as you serve, you deserve. So then excellence has to become our activism. We've got to become more excellent at what we do every day. So I'm going to do a quick show of hands, because I'd written a book and I'm going to show it to you. And actually part of an offer that Justin offered, I would send this to anyone that signs up. Yes, EnrollHere, that's a shameless plug, but so is this. I wrote this originally in 2011, 6 hours to 6 figures. There are about 50,000 of these floating around somewhere. And I have agents that walk up to me all the time and says, that book changed everything. But all I did was build an awareness and hope that they did some corresponding action, activism, and then they got another result. 6-figure renewal incomes in the case of agents that are brokers, et cetera. There's other markets and other environments, as Justin described earlier. But what I would want to say by way of excellence is, first and foremost, be a pro at your craft. And the people in this room are here for self-development. They're here for growth. They're here to be better than average. They're here to be, dare I say it, exceptional. So if you learn, and I was going to do it with a show of hands, how many people Medicare Advantage is their main core product? Medicare Advantage, that should be just about everybody. How many of you have sold a hospital indemnity before? Okay, I'm actually going to wait for the hands to raise. Who has sold a hospital indemnity before? Okay, I'm going to do it opposite. Who has never sold a hospital indemnity? Because that should be everybody else. We've got table upon tables of hospital indemnity carriers that are available. But yet our excellence is limited because we only have one thing on our mind and one product. Now, it's a great one, and I've developed those products. I've written those products. But when you're not looking at it from the holistic view, then you could be part of the generalized environment that says, because guess what churning means? And I'm going to go to this next one here. Churning means that you likely, now it could be the same agent making the move, but most of you would lament the fact that, oh, it's that XYZ call center that moved my people. But if I actually was there to serve at the highest level with excellence, final expense, hospital indemnity, along with my Medicare Advantage, when it is time for that person to move, they're not going to move without me. When I want my phone to ring in the morning with referrals, the better I am at servicing holistically, the better my business is going to be. And if we're going to change perception, excellence, part of it is meeting the client in the journey, in the continuum that they need us to be. So maybe that starts with ACA, and then it turns into MA, and then it turns into HIP, and then it turns into final expense. Then it turns into an annuity. All those opportunities, when right now they're telling us there's too many, we're making too much, and there's too much churning. So I would, again, challenge everybody to look at their business and how they conduct themselves and see how can we be more excellent. And then finally, there's tool set. EnrollHere. I've been doing this 28 years. And this is no overstatement. Trained, developed, hired, and brought on easily 100,000 agents over that period of time. That's a long time. For 15 to 16 years of that time, I was developing health plans, helped develop the first chronic illness special needs plan. So when you say D-SNP, C-SNP, that's me. 2007 with a company that was out of Baltimore, Maryland, that sold to United Healthcare. Somebody remembers that. I almost got a hand clap. Oh, y'all still got some CIP on the books? Holy smoke. How are you still getting paid on it and I'm not getting any money? But through that process, I've seen millions of enrollments. I've never seen any one single thing that can change the game and get you out of the box as EnrollHere. Yep, thank you. So now, Justin did something earlier today to talk about an opportunity that we built with Go Gurus, with Justin, with Bobby Brock Insurance, that I want to dig a little bit deeper in to make sure that everybody understood fully the gravity of the opportunity that you then had to be an early adopter, that someone who's got 28 years in this would tell you that if I were about to either be an agent for the first time, or I was about to build an agency with 5, 55, 105, or 1,005, the first thing I would do is bring EnrollHere in my office. And most of you that know me know I don't do pitches. Actually, most of you, if you've ever heard it, I do philosophical before I do financial, because if we don't have some kind of kinship or alignment, you're going to leave me for the next $5 somebody gives you. That's a waste of time. I want to know philosophically. So what I'm telling you is that I am seeing so much value in what this is doing that I know everyone would benefit. So I've got 2 agents here, Eric and Monica. And our tagline is simplify, optimize, grow. So Eric is an agent. He is an individual producer. He is on his own. He drives to town to meet a face-to-face appointment. He spends time helping them. And then he goes home for lunch. And then what? Now, he used to go home and scroll leads and wonder if the leads were any good. But maybe sometimes he'd try to connect. Sometimes he wouldn't. And some of us have fallen into the syndrome that once we get home, it's over. And we're done. But then Eric became a partner with EnrollHere. So now he returns from the morning home appointments, puts on his headset, sits at the computer with EnrollHere, and the phone starts to ring. He doesn't wait for magic, he plugs in. And here's a big one: connectivity and receptivity. How many of you have gotten a lead that you couldn't even get back connected with? I've called you 20 times, now you're hounding them. Imagine, even when you get that person, then you have to remind them that they did something that you have in your hand, that you paid for. So imagine when you plug in, the connectivity is there, and the high intent receptivity is already baked in. So with EnrollHere's dollar and call flow, he now has a chance to be in the zone. So I'm going to go back over very quickly what we did with Justin specifically for this event. And up to now, we've not done direct-to-agent modeling. It's been people that have gotten 10 seats, 50 seats, 700 seats, and more. 1 year at $150 per month. And the leads will be different. But you click Start Now, and there'll be a QR code. I didn't get the code to put on the presentation. But you've got to log in. You put your email address. And then, yes, there's the agreement you need to sign. But from there, you basically put in some basic information, keep putting information in, what monthly subscription, but of course, in your case, it'll be discounted to $150. You then put your paper and your money in, and that's not really Tyler's credit card, or else we will all be going partying tonight. But then your subscription is complete. So I wrote a book called 6 Hours to Six Figures and said 6 hours is not enough for me to help you get to 6 figures. It's enough to get you excited about wanting to develop yourself to get to 6 figures. But in this instance, 6 minutes. 6 minutes. 6 minutes, Dougie Fresh and you on. Some of y'all, you're not old school rappers, but that's okay. But 6 minutes, your phone could ring. So you then actually search your phone numbers, put your phone number, your state. You get to pick from the numbers you want. I'm just clicking through to show you how easy it is. You then get to put in the transfer number. You select the states that you want. If you work in one state, great. But if you need multiple states to make sure that you can fulfill your goals. But then from there, you pick the campaign you want. You actually get to pick the type of leads you want. I just want it to be the consumer saw something, the consumer dials in, and the consumer gets straight to me. Or I want the consumer to see something, the consumer to call into somebody, the consumer to be screened and cleaned up, and then I want it. You decide. And I met a gentleman today named Frederick, and in one line, he said the very thing that all of this represents. He says, you just brought the power of the biggest call centers into my house. Democratization. So then you pick your money, and then you pay, and then you're pretty much ready to start taking calls. And in Eric's case, and this is actually not hyperbole, this actually happened day one as a hybrid. I like to say hybrid, somewhat telesales virtual, and then somewhat kitchen table agent. 5 apps, 2 in-home, 3 with EnrollHere. He gets to track progress through the dashboard, set new targets, celebrate his wins, but he's not just building a business, he's building a lifestyle. What happens when Eric does that on wash, rinse, repeat? His business grows. So then there's Monica. She runs a 10-seat call shop with 3 new agents, 2 superstars, and 5 somewhere between solid citizens and wounded warriors. Does that describe anybody in here today? Those solid citizens, we need them. Those wounded warriors, you picked them for a reason, but something about either their ability to do it in a certain way or something else. But what if you could resurrect a wounded warrior and get them to become a solid citizen, or get a couple of solid citizens to become top performers? So Monica's committed. She's working weekends. Her biggest problem is no visibility, no clarity, and no rhythm. What's going on with the leads? Why are the prices so high? What's my closing rate? How is everybody doing? She has absolutely no idea what's happening in her business. But then she discovered EnrollHere. Day one, she started running call campaigns in real time and calibrating those call campaigns based on how her agents were performing. She sees one agent converting raw leads, which means the consumer's just getting to them directly. Some of them needed the screen calls where they're being filtered before they actually get to them. But the real power here is that she's in control. In real time, with such level of specificity, it doesn't matter if she says, what state are you in, Miss Susie? What state are you in, Mr. Tim? What campaign queue are you in? She can calibrate all of that. She can actually cap the number of calls they get every day. Oh, maybe they get 10. I think she does that next. So every agent got 10 calls. If they were under the CPA, there's dynamic CPA capping, cost per acquisition. Justin talked about that earlier. Let's say you set that bar at 150. As long as people are going under 150 with those 10 calls, you let the runners run, the winners win. But if for some reason somebody's at 170, hold on, Susie, let's stop and talk to you for a minute. Let's go into the office. Let's listen to some of your calls. I'm going to do a whisper campaign with you for the next few calls. I'm going to do a chat so it's not intrusive as a barging in on the call. You can do all of those things in a democratized way, even if you're a new call center with 10 agents. So she paused their campaign in one-on-one coaching, read transcripts. But the other thing that's brilliant here is there's AI scoring on all the successful calls, where literally the transcripts are being generated, and then it's being run against 26 metrics with the CMS call calibration. So instead of having to listen, like Monica used to do, to calls on the weekends to be able to calibrate and make sure that the agents are doing the right thing, it's now on a dashboard. And then she can see that Tim needs help with the scope of appointment or the TPMO statement. And she fixes it, and all of a sudden, what does his scores do? Go up. And we do know that the better your compliance scores are, the stickier. They accrete, they retain, they stay. And as he talked about LTV earlier, the longer they stay, the more they pay. That's the power of EnrollHere. So her weekend compliance reviews are gone, transcripts are all there, but the biggest thing is that her CPA dropped from 300 to 125. and her confidence in what she was doing skyrocketed. And then what does she do after 2 months of EnrollHere? And these, while names are different, these are case studies relative to what people are doing on our platform. She's now planning to hire 2 agents a month, which may seem modest to some of you, but for somebody that's got 10 and she's barely been trying to figure out where things are going on a $300 CPA in a land of prorated commissions, getting deeper into the year. And then all the things around Heidi-Fighty, which some people are taking it lightly, some are staying up all nightly. But I always tell people, put on your big boy and girl whitey-tighties. Heidi-Fighty's not a problem. If you have access to flow. If you have access to leads. So by the time the AEP hits, she expects to double her team. And you would normally think that doubling her team means double the sales. But we're seeing 3 and 4x. So EnrollHere, if I could, and I know they're maybe spread out a little bit, I'd like you guys to see and meet the EnrollHere team if they don't mind, and hopefully that doesn't bother you guys. Do you guys mind coming down and letting them see who you are? If you're on the EnrollHere team in here right now, and yeah, I see some of you, come on up. Come on up. You guys give these guys a hand. Awesome, one of the most awesome teams I have ever worked with. So we've got Tyler, Nico, Nick, Corey, Amir, Vlad, Stan, Tim. We've got Caroline, Josh, we got John, we got Johnny, and we've got Mike, and we've got Erica and TJ, EJ. I always want to say TJ, EJ. Amazing group of people, but I want to do something here. Does anybody remember this? Horton Here's a Who? Somebody that's over 40, raise your hand for me. Horton Here's a Who? Thank you so much. So Horton, if you understand what Dr. Seuss typically did by the way he did influence and impact, Horton was a visionary. And that's what Tyler Reese is, a visionary. And he's got Ryan Strathmeyer and Josh Benson, lifelong partners that have always been with him through the visionary stages. But Horton heard something and saw something that no one else could see or hear. That's what a visionary is. But then a visionary is smart. He surrounds himself with talented people who bring unity to the vision. And it started out with the little girl that heard it first, but then she, as a zealot, went and spread that word. And it's like Admiral Kirk talking to Captain Spock during the Wrath of Khan 2, where he said, how would the new recruits perform? And he says, Captain, as with all living things, each according to their gifts. What you're looking at right here are some of the most talented people in their own respective worlds. So me, as the CEO of a tech company, to some could seem laughable, even though for Nick, Tim, and Nico, I actually in 1983 was at the University or the Georgia Institute of Technology, the MIT of the South. I was studying Fortran, Pascal, and COBOL. So I was actually a developer before any of you. So bow down as you should. Of course, I flunked out and things didn't work out so well, but that's not the point. But we bring the team to take Tyler's vision and bring unity. But then now we're coming to you to become part of our community. And then EnrollHere does the thing that I've always envisioned. And if you go back to a video for 2016, when I became part of an organization, ultimately where I met Tyler to begin with, I literally, on the first day I stepped on stage, August something 2016, says, don't lead, move. Don't lead, create a movement. So what I would ask everyone to do, or some, if you have ever logged on or used EnrollHere, which I know we've got some friends and partners and colleagues, people that Tyler has brought this message to. If you have ever used or logged in and used EnrollHere, please stand up so the team can see you. If you've ever used it, logged in, or done anything on EnrollHere, stand up. Stay standing for me. Now, everybody look around. Now, I'm going to do something unscripted, and it's potentially dangerous, but I think I'm pretty safe. If you that are using it today love EnrollHere, on the count of 3, Shout 3 times, we love EnrollHere. 1, 2, 3. All right. There we go. So now, the movement, keep standing for me. Keep standing. The movement starts because there's a vision, there's unity, community, and then the swelling, just like we are here with EnrollHere Who. So now everybody else standing, we're wrapping up right here. Everybody else stand up, please. Everybody else stand with this group. No, I'm not going to ask you to shout it, we love EnrollHere, because you haven't tried it. But I am asking you to get clear. I am asking you to decide what you want out of this business, this industry that you've chosen. And more than likely, there is some skepticism or some fear that is stopping you from trying it. We did a bleepectomy earlier. I need everybody to do a bleepectomy tonight, and then tomorrow come see us in that booth, and then sign up for the offer that Justin gave you. And if you are an agency, let us show you how we can convert, transform, and just literally translate the way your business works. Because a year from now when we come back, everybody that you see standing now, I promise you will be standing saying, we love EnrollHere. And the movement will continue. So the last thing I'll remind you is that if I've even been minimally successful, look down at your feet. Look down at them real quick. Whether you know it or not, you've moved. Now, spatially, you're in the same spot. But as my mom used to say, baby, 11 is 1 on another level. You are now higher than you were 45 minutes ago. Because some part of something you heard or something you thought galvanized into a moment of inertia in your mind that raises you to a higher level of thinking, a higher level of consciousness, and all you now have to do is take a next first step of action. And I'm giving you the simplest action you can take is to trust somebody that's been doing this for a really long time and to see that somebody who's done it in a meteoric way, never seen anything like what he did with ING. Never. And I've now got the privilege and the opportunity to stand in front of you and then not proselytize and convince you to try it. And if you don't like it after 7 days, go back to what you're doing. But if I've done my job, take that picture, post it on LinkedIn, tag me, tag MedicareCon, tag EnrollHere, won't matter. But here's what I really need you to do. My mom was an awesome person. And she had a spunk and a fight about her that would probably put most of us to shame. But if I've done her proud by at least triggering and provoking you to think higher, to think bigger, to get out of the box, I need you to do it on the count of 3 times. Last time. I am exceptional. So that it can, number 1, be like EnrollHere Who, and everybody that hears it will know that it's real, that you've changed, that you are exceptional. Number 2, to bring down the walls of Jericho, metaphorically and otherwise. But 3rd, to pierce the veil of heaven so that Sarah Clay can know her son Brandon did his job. 1, 2, 3. My name is Brandon Clay, storyteller, strategist, coach, and I believe still CEO of EnrollHere. And it is my great privilege as the son of Alfred and Sarah Clay to be the first to acknowledge, confirm, and reaffirm, and to declare and decree that each one of you is absolutely exceptional. God bless and thank you.